Code Orange is one of the absolute best live bands in heavy music. What makes their show so insane? There's an insane ex-girlfriend joke to be made here, but I'm done with those. Anyway, I'm Luke, and this is Stage 76. Code Orange is one of the first hardcore bands I ever really got into. Years and years ago, I would always see Chris Cale of Five Finger Death Punch mentioning them on Twitter, which helped me familiarize myself with the band. Later on, I finally saw them open for Gojira, and that remains one of the most intense and energetic performances I've ever seen to this day. Code Orange is a hardcore-rooted band that is constantly pushing the limits of heavy music, in more ways than just the music itself. Their DIY spirit is part of what makes them able to innovate and impress. This is a band that when faced with any form of adversity, they're going to adapt to the situation and execute an alternate plan in the most perfect way possible. But all that stuff is for later. Let me start out by talking about what their music is like. Over the years, Code Orange has become a somewhat eclectic band when it comes to their sound, and this is reflected in their live performances. Songs in their set list vary greatly. This is one band where I would say that no one song is guaranteed in their set list. There are a few with a pretty high likelihood, but none are definite. Within that eclectic playlist, you might have some more slow and brooding type songs like Sulfur Surrounding or Dream 2. If you're really lucky, you'll see the elusive Dreams 1+2 as performed in their Under the Skin set. They combined two of their songs and made it one even better song. The band even agrees with me here. The band may also play some more middle-of-the-road butt rock adjacent songs like Bleeding in the Blur, Underneath, and Out for Blood. Then you'll have the total kick your ass, balls to the wall songs like Swallowing the Rabbit Hole, Forever, and My World. The main riff in that one goes so ridiculously hard. Overall, their music has this insane variance that keeps things interesting throughout the entire set. What types of places are their sets going to be played, though? Code Orange is not a gigantic band. Despite multiple Grammy nominations, a Code Orange headline set is generally going to take place in a theater or smaller. They may not have a lot of room for their performance, but make no mistake, they will use every inch of the stage they're given, big or small. If they're opening for someone else or at a big festival, then you might be lucky enough to catch them on a pretty big stage, which will be a pretty cool experience as well. The small stage means that everyone is going to be packed right in there in front of the action. A Code Orange show is a hardcore show, so prepare for some absolute intensity and anticipate injury. I'm joking, but only a little. In recent years, they've upped their set design to be a bit more elaborate than your typical hardcore band, and it really helps set the aesthetic and entire feel of Code Orange. They make good use of screens as well as plastering the band's logo all over the place. They're setting you up for a show you're never going to forget. Hell, you don't even need to be at the show for it to be an unforgettable experience. This is Code Orange I'm talking about. They don't even need anyone in the crowd to put on a devastating performance. Code Orange was set to do a release show for their 2020 album Underneath on March 14th of that year. As we all know, things got really bad around that time. The day before they were set to do this show is when everything started to shut down, and thus, the show was cancelled the day before it was supposed to happen. Personally, I was furious. I'd never been to an album release show for anyone, and I had a ticket to this show. I was so pumped to go, then the bad news fell upon us, and everything sucked for a while. But what did Code Orange do when they weren't allowed to have an audience at your show? They said, you. We'll perform it in front of no one and live stream it. And this was a performance for the ages. This group of people are basically day one pioneers of the pandemic live stream concert. In less than 48 hours, they pivoted and created the most awesome thing that they could have given the circumstances. and it's still online, so you can go check out that whole performance. That wasn't even their only legendary live stream performance. They also did their Under the Skin show, which was very stripped down and meant to mimic the sensibilities of an MTV Unplugged show. This made me like this style of performance. I'm not usually one for the acoustic set, but Code Orange really managed to transform their music into something interesting and, in some cases, better than the original versions. Like I said earlier, Dreams 1+2 was performed in this set and is an improvement on both of the songs it combines. The last live stream show that they did was Back Inside the Glass. This one is a little more straightforward than the other two, but they really worked within the constraints of what they could do at the time and created this insane audio-visual experience that would not exist otherwise. These performances all just made me want to go back to being there in the thick of it. Fortunately, concerts have been back for quite a while now, so the opportunity to see Code Orange is back, baby. Seeing Code Orange means seeing immensely talented and hard-working individuals really throw it all out there on stage. Where Code Orange truly shines when it comes to their live performances is the over-the-top energy that all of the band members exert. The way that these people move themselves around with such ferocity is insane. Every single one of them up there is giving everything they have, mentally and physically. You don't necessarily always think about a musical performance being something that is super physically stressful, but for Code Orange, it certainly is. Joe, Reba, and Dom are all flying around the stage with their instruments. Shade has to stay in place a little bit more because he has so much equipment he's dealing with, but he's still going at it as hard as you can from one spot. You have Max behind the kit, destroying every beat that's laid down. Jamie is up front commanding the entire crowd, and that's a relatively new thing for him. Up until underneath, Jamie used to be the drummer. This was a band with no true front person, just a bunch of people playing instruments, and 3 of them also happened to sing or scream. They brought that same level of intensity when Jamie was still on drums, and now that he's free just to be behind the mic, it adds just one more element of insanity for the crowd to gobble up. That harsh energy that the entire band is exploding with is exactly what makes Code Orange such an engaging band to see live. There are plenty of other hardcore bands and hardcore rooted bands that can bring out a similar feeling, but no one does it quite as perfectly as Code Orange. All right, everyone, thank you for checking this one out. I'm finally doing another video based around a band's live sets. Feels nice to finally be back in the swing of things. I've been super busy in real life. Unfortunately, Stage 76 has gone a little bit on the wayside, but I'm back. This is going to be an absolute buzzer beater, but I'm still making sure I'm getting at least one in a month. I'm Luke, and this is Stage 76.
When you